Brother, today I'm unshaven again. If you don't believe it, look at this. I took off a little of my panties. Brother started smiling after seeing my black hair and, running his hand through my hair, asked me to position myself on the bed. I couldn't stop brother, and then. I used to live completely alone at home. My husband and I had a house, the downstairs portion of which was completely finished, but upstairs there was a room, bathroom and a small store on the roof. Thinking that when the sons grow up, someone can use the upstairs portion if they get married. My wife had passed away long ago. I had 2 sons and a daughter. I raised my children alone and I educated my children in expensive schools and colleges. I got married even before my daughter completed her education and my sons had gone out of Pakistan for higher education. As soon as they completed their studies there, they got good jobs and refused to return to Pakistan. They married into a Pakistani family there and settled down. Now they had children too. They wanted me to live with them too, but I wanted to spend the last part of my life in my own home. I was old, but I was healthy and strong. I still did my own personal work and cooking. I was not dependent on anyone. I had been a government employee, due to which I was now living well in pension and I did not have to ask my sons for money for my expenses. Even when I was feeling anxious, I would go to my daughter's house and my heart would melt with her children. My daughter used to care about me a lot. Sometimes when my daughter came with her children, the whole house would be filled with joy. Time was passing peacefully when one day 2 young siblings came to me and requested me to give them a place to stay in some part of my house for 2 days. And they said that someone told us that you have a room built on your roof. I thought that maybe they were stuck in this city or area during their journey or had come to meet a relative. However, I did not ask many questions and the top room of my house was completely empty. I was ready to give it to them. It was only a matter of 2 days. When I showed them the top room, they were both very happy. Obviously it was a completely separate part and there was also a bathroom there. They liked the room and they put the small bags they were carrying there. I had come down. I had not given that room for rent because I thought it would not matter if someone stayed for just 2 days. However, I was in dire need of money these days. The other day, when I went to visit a friend, seeing his distress, he could not let me go and I gave him a good amount of money. My friend was very sick and poor, and his sons did not live with him. I helped my friend and now I was going through a difficult time because there was still half a month left. Despite my dire need, I was not ready to ask my sons for money and was quietly living as I could. It was a matter of a few days and I would have lived. It does not feel good to spread my hands in front of my sons for so much money. If I have not asked them for money till now, I will not ask them now. I did not have any problem with the arrival of those 2 siblings. They did not oppose my life and kept doing their own work. They were also managing their own food and drink. I stayed downstairs as usual for 2 days, and when I went to the mosque to pray, I would carefully lock the downstairs portion. Because in today's era, where people are robbing everyone in disguise, caution is necessary. And the conditions in Karachi were always bad anyway. But those 2 siblings did not seem like that. 2 days later, when the siblings started leaving, the boy thanked me and handed me 10,000 rupees for rent. I was surprised and worried to see so much money for 2 days. To my surprise, the boy asked me to keep the money and said that this money was very little to trust him and give him a place in the house. He told me that he had traveled to many areas but no one was ready to give him a place, while I gave him the room without hesitation. They were both grateful, and I thought that perhaps it was the result of my good heart that Allah had blessed me more than I needed in difficult times. I did not persist any longer and took the money, and I was worried that my pension would end before the first one. Now, after getting this money, I became happy and carefree. It must have been barely a month since this incident that the same two siblings came again. I was surprised to see them. According to me, last time they had come to my house by chance, but this time, coming to my house on a regular basis confused me. I thought that maybe they just wanted to meet me. I made them sit in the house and started asking about their condition. In the middle of the conversation, the boy said to my question that like last time, they need a room for 2 days this time too. This time, I asked them why they both left their homes and came to live here, being siblings. Then the girl told me that they both live in separate hostels, and when they get 2 days off, they want to be with each other during that time. Our parents are not in this city. I believed what they said. I shook my head after hearing this. They were nice and polite. I also did not go into the depth of the conversation. Obviously they were siblings, otherwise what was the need for them to lie? I had made a mistake by trusting them, which I never realized. This time too, I opened the room upstairs to them both and they started living there with the same silence. After 2 days, when they started to leave, they took 10,000 rupees from me and left. Then this series continued. For the last 3 or 4 months, those two siblings would stay in my room upstairs for 2 days and take 10,000 rupees from me and leave. I was very happy. I felt that Allah had opened the door of livelihood for me. By saving that money, I would buy fruits etc. for myself, and whenever I went to meet my daughter, I would take gifts for her children. I was a generous and lavish person, but with my pension, it became difficult for me to spend lavishly. But now 10,000 rupees had also been added to my pension every month, and my life, which was a little difficult earlier, was now very easy for me. I no longer had any objection to their coming, although I used to unconsciously wait for them. Or maybe he was waiting for the 10,000 he would get from them. Sitting down, I would get 10,000, it was a great reward. I don't know how long this series went on until that day I went to the roof. Since I started giving them a room, this was the first time I went up. Because I always stayed downstairs, they both were using the entire roof very comfortably, and maybe that was the reason why they both forgot to close the door of the room. When I reached downstairs after seeing the reality of the two of them, Mir Ujid was trembling with pride and modesty. I sat quietly in one place. All the money I had taken from them till now was hurting me badly. When this boy had first told me that he was not getting a room anywhere, then I thought that people had become insensitive and were not useful to anyone under compulsion. Now I understood that people were not insensitive but had become wise. People are far-sighted. They must have guessed that the boy and girl had run away from home or had come to live with some wrong intention. My mind was clouded. My mind was clouded. My brain was about to burst. If I had not given them a room that day, perhaps they would have returned home and escaped this open shame and great sin. But I had given them an easy way out. I had encouraged them to continue committing this sin openly and to please me by giving them money. I started feeling ashamed of myself. Although the truth was clear that I was unaware of this, my mistake was that I did not ask them about them. I did not ask why they both came to stay with me every month despite having their own house. It was still daytime and I knew that the boy would come down to go to the market. I was waiting silently for the boy to come out to get food so that I could talk to him. Perhaps cursing was no use now, but I had thought that I would throw them both out of the house now and tell them never to come back. I hope that maybe if they don't get a place in the future, they will reform and stop this sin. But once they get addicted to sin, they don't get rid of it easily. That day too, my intention was to just talk to them at the door and return, but before I could knock on the door, I heard the whispers of the two of them and I was shocked by their surprising words. The girl was saying that this is what my mother and father think. I go on a field trip to college for 2 days every month. There is no problem on my part, but what do you say when you come home? The girl's question shocked me. Why did he come here secretly from his family? This made me curious. I also stopped there to listen to the boy's answer and moved closer to the door and listened. The boy's answer was also somewhat similar to the girl's answer. He was saying that he goes out with his family members for welfare work every month with his friends, due to which the family members also don't have any suspicions about him. Now this was surprising to me. I did not have any such suspicion about them because they were siblings, yes, but I felt that maybe they were secretly doing something that the family would have forbidden. Because of this they used to come here secretly from the family and would spend 2 days and leave. But the interesting thing was that during the 2 days they spent here, they did not even go out anywhere, just the boy would go out of the house for a short while at some part of the day and bring food and drink from the market. But today when I saw them committing this sin, the sky fell on my head. Since then I had been fighting with myself. When evening came, I got tired and went to the roof myself. Only the girl was there on the roof and she was also sitting in front. Seeing me, she jumped up and quickly stood up and started spreading her dupatta over herself. This act of hers was also making me angry now. I was so ashamed. I did not even think about anything beyond that. I asked her about the fight in a blunt tone, and she was shocked to hear the cold tone of a gentle person like me. She probably did not expect such a harsh tone from me. Then she calmed down a bit and said that he had gone to the market. He was late today, so he had gone a while ago and it would take time to return. I was very upset by the confidence with which the girl was answering. I was so angry at her confidence that without waiting for the boy, I angrily told him to take your belongings and when your brother arrives, go with him. And in the future, both of you should not set foot in my house. And I do not want to keep your money with you either. He was talking in a very angry manner about forbidden money. She got scared at my words and said, "What happened, Babaji? Why are you looking so angry? Have we made a mistake? We were supposed to go yesterday, then what happened today? Now where will we go at night? Our house is very far away." I felt bad for her loss of consciousness. I said, "It's not a mistake, it's a sin. You two should have thought about this while having illicit relations. Don't you both feel ashamed that you come here every month to insult your sacred relationship by compromising the trust of your family? Don't you both fear God? Don't you fear the wrath of God by deceiving a weak person like me and including me in your sin by lying to me?" Her complexion changed at my words. She started looking at me with a big frown. She certainly didn't believe that I would know the truth about both of them. To her surprise, I told her honestly that today I had come to collect advance rent from them and then I knew the truth about both of them. On my words, she started crying and said in shame that Babaji, I am sorry that we deceived a good person like you and lied, but the truth is not what we told you. Then what this girl revealed came as a shock to me. She said that we are not siblings. Our relationship is truly sacred because we are husband and wife and there is a completely legitimate relationship between us. I looked at her with uncertainty and some disbelief. The truth is that I could not believe this girl at all now. I felt that she was lying out of fear of being humiliated. On my uncertainty, She started swearing and then suddenly got up and went to the room, and when she returned after a while, she had a marriage certificate in her hand. I was stunned to see that marriage certificate. They were really husband and wife. I handed her the marriage certificate and said that when they had this relationship, then what was the need to hide it and create a fake relationship? On my question, she became silent for a moment and then started talking, and what she told me surprised me as well as angered me. The girl was telling me that they both lived in the same neighborhood from the beginning, received their primary education from the same school, and since then they had been best friends. With time, this friendship turned into love. When they were both in college, the boy sent her a marriage certificate which was immediately accepted because both their parents also knew each other from the beginning. When they got married, both of them felt that they would never be separated again, and everything went very smoothly. Everyone was very happy and soon their wedding date would be set. But after some time, the boy and the girl's mother had a disagreement over something, and the matter escalated to the point that their arranged relationship was also in danger. The boy and the girl tried to calm their parents down, but the matter had escalated, and one day the girl's mother made a formal announcement and ended the relationship. They were both very torn by this, and for many days they boycotted their families, cried and stopped eating and drinking, but nothing had any effect on their family. When they saw that their protest was in vain, they kept quiet for some time but had decided that they would never leave each other. Their silence was broken that day when the girl's parents tried to do this to their acquaintances. She was in a state of anguish. She flatly refused her parents and gave many arguments which failed. When she told the boy the whole situation, he gave her a solution that both of them should get married secretly from their families, and when the time came, they should tell their families. She was sure that when the family came to know about the marriage, they would become silent and forget their differences. They got married and told their families not to get married before completing their education and became calm. Now they would spend 2 days with each other every month and fulfill their happiness. When the girl became silent, I was stunned. Their relationship was legal, but the method was wrong. I did not know who was to blame. They both are their parents. I filled the girl with essence and explained to her that this time when she went, instead of coming here secretly, she should tell her parents the truth and send them away. They were adopting a legal relationship in an illegal way. And all the time before that, people would have looked at her wrongly and she would have become suspicious in the eyes of those professionals. Before that, everyone should have been told the truth. I explained this girl a lot. The girl understood what I said and promised that she would not have a secret relationship like this in the future. I came back downstairs. And after some time, the boy came to me. Of course, his wife had told him everything. Then he came to me and apologized to me. And said that his method was wrong. I explained to him that you are a man. Make this relationship work with your strength. That girl is your honor now. Don't humiliate her in public like this. Tomorrow you both will have children, so what will you answer to people? Now go from here and satisfy your family and live a life of honor yourself and give your wife her place. The next day, they left and I repented and said that in the future, I will not keep anyone like this in my house. A few days passed. Both the boy and the girl came to my house with sweets and told me that with your courage and encouragement, we talked to our family. And after seeing the marriage certificate, they had no more room left and they agreed to our marriage. That is why we have brought sweets for you. If it had been anyone else in your place, we would have kept quiet for the greed of money, but you explained us and made us ready to make the right decisions at the right time. Thank you very much.